Right. Let's see. So, welcome to this destination presentation. Again, it's an honor and a pleasure for me to share something, a thing or two about our beautiful destination here in the Sonoran Desert. So here's an overview of what we will be covering today in brief. And I'm always available for more questions after this presentation because I'll move through it pretty quickly. The Sonoran Desert and the United States-Mexico borderland. Where is Tucson? The Arizona Sonora Desert Museum, Mission San Javier del Bac, UNESCO City of Gastronomy. Yes, that's Tucson. Saguaro National Park, a bit about the ranches and what's new in Tucson these days. And finally, I'll have some QR codes available for the visitor guide and for the travel, some travel resources. I don't think this one's going to work. So just go. Let's see. Peter, can you still hear me? Can you hear and see everything? Okay. I thought
Yes,
you
I can see and
froze.
hear everything. Yeah, absolutely.
Could you hear that last video?
The video I don't hear.
Okay, then I'm going to move past that slide. Okay,
Okay.
I'm glad that I did. I just want to make sure my connectivity is a little bit shaky today. So thank you for confirming. So just to give you some images of where we'll be going today as we go to Tucson, and we are in the borderlands by proximity to the border of Mexico. We have indigenous, that's Native American, Mexican, Spanish, and the Old West cultures. So where is Tucson exactly? And some of you will know where we are and some of you won't. But we are here surrounded by California, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah. Look, we're way down here at the bottom. We're only 45 minutes from Tucson to the Mexican border. So our culture is a little bit different than the rest of the state. It's like having a two-nation vacation when you come to Tucson because the Mexican influence is so strong where we are. And we're only an hour and a half south of Phoenix, if you see this star up here. It's about an hour and a half, depending on how quickly you drive, I like to say. So here by the numbers, Tucson is surrounded by 5 mountain ranges. You can't see the ranges on this map, but we have what we call the Sky Islands and beautiful peaks that surround Tucson. We have 2 Native American reservations, the Tohono O'odham, you'll hear that later, and the Pasquayaqui Indian Reservation. We have 1 national park, Saguaro Park, Saguaro National Park West, and Saguaro National Park East. You'll notice up here, which I don't have circled, is the White Stallion Ranch, which I'll mention later. And over here, where my cursor is to the right, is Tanque Verde Ranch. So each ranch is at the doorstep of a national park. So they're nicely situated. And as I said before, we have 4 cultures at least blending together beautifully in Tucson: Native American, Spanish, Mexican, and the Old West, and our ranching culture. Our ranch culture is in our DNA. And actually, Tucson has been part of Mexico and Spain longer than we've been part of the United States, which is a fun fact. So the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum, this is the very first place that I love to send our visitors to. It is the perfect place to be educated on the ecology, the culture, the environment, the peoples that have endured living in the desert for thousands of years. It's on 21 acres, and I hope that you like that I put that in meters. 85,000 square meters. And there's hiking trails around here as well. It's only 20 minutes from downtown, about 10 minutes from the airport. And there are all these attractions that make it more than a museum. It's a zoo, it's a botanical garden, it's a natural history museum. There's even an aquarium and an art gallery, and a wonderful little restaurant, I might say, on site too. It's still, as I understand, TripAdvisor's #1 attraction. Here's a limestone cave, a replica that you can explore. And there's also what we have, this woman here is holding this hawk, and we call it the raptor-free flight demonstration. You can almost hear the wings of that bird in your ear because they might fly right by you as they fly around. It's magical. Mission San Javier del Bac. San Javier is the patron saint of this mission that was founded in 1692 by Father Eusebio Kino. And Father Kino, or Padre Kino, was an Italian Jesuit priest. He passed away before he could see the completion of the White Dove of the Desert or the Sistine of the Southwest. And the reason we call it the Sistine Chapel, if you notice this beautifully colored artwork up here on the right-hand side, it's Spanish Baroque style, which means it's colorful, it's vibrant. There's a lot going on, and it is the crown jewel of all of Father Kino's missions. It's an active parish. There's still a school and masses that happen every day. It's on the Tohono O'odham. You might remember that from previously, just a few minutes ago. This is on their land, so they manage this church. It's only 15 minutes from downtown Tucson, and there are free tours every hour that you can participate in. Just a few words about the designation that we are most proud of. Food is our story, and we love to tell our story through our food. And that's why we received the first in the United States to receive this designation from UNESCO, which, as you know, is in Paris. And we're very, very honored to be the first. So, and why is that? Well, Tucson has 4,000 years of food history. And the Hohokam Indians started farming this land in the desert and grew all these beautiful crops that you see here right now. And we're still consuming them. That's what makes it so special. These ingredients you can find on our menus today, all these thousands of years later. We have many James Beard award-winning nominees and winners. The James Beard Awards, by the way, for those who don't know, is like the Oscars for food. So we like to think of it that way. There's an emphasis on drought-resistant heritage ingredients. How did people in the desert survive? How did they survive the climate with very little water? Water is our #1 resource here. It's like gold. Water is like gold in the desert. So these crops here, the chiltepin pepper up here in the corner, it's very hot. I don't even eat them, but you can find them in chocolate and even beer and sandwiches. Sonoran wheat, which is used in the bread that you see here. Thank you to Don Guerra for bringing it to the forefront. And tepary beans. You can find tepary beans and the wheat at the San Javier Co-op farm store, which you'll see here in the lower left. They sell nothing but native foods that you can try and take home. It is a real cultural, the cultural significance of the food is told through these cooperative farms. We have about 300 in the Tucson area, believe it or not. Hard to believe for a desert, right? So just a few words about Saguaro National Park. If I were in front of you right now, I'd say, let's say saguaro together. Saguaro. And What I love about Saguaro National Park is that if you remember from the map, um, we are surrounded by this park. It is on either side of us. So you can be in the park all day long, stargazing, or sorry, that's at night. But hiking, mountain biking, bird watching, and then be downtown in 15 minutes for dinner. There is no other national park in the United States that is so close to all these beautiful amenities. So here are some of the images from the parks. They grow up to about 3 to 16 meters tall. They live up to about 200 years. And the east part, the east station, the Rincon Mountain Station, and the Tucson Mountain Station is the west. They have different ecologies. The Tucson Mountain Station is a lower elevation, but they have a more dense forest. In the east, it's more rugged and there's more wildlife. Um, and that's the part of town I grew up on. So I'm a little bit biased towards the east, but they both have wonderful separate characters. And we just found out recently that Dark Skies International, I'm hoping some of you have heard of this association, designated Saguaro National Park an urban night sky place. So the light pollution is so low that you can still go to this park, be close to Tucson, and be able to have a magnificent astrotourism experience for anyone that's interested in that. I promised you just a word or two about our guest ranches. We have several in Southern Arizona. As I said, we have a ranching culture that is in our DNA. It goes back hundreds of years. But the White Stallion Ranch and Tanque Verde Ranch, I'm often asked, what is the difference between these two ranches? And I have been to both many times. They are quite a bit different, actually. The White Stallion Ranch is a family-owned operation. They've been operating it as a ranch for the last, I think, 75 years. Not as long as the Tanque Verde Ranch, but they have a really strong horseback riding program. They have a lot of activities, just like Tanque Verde Ranch does. They both do pancake breakfasts and cowboy cookouts and this beautiful cantina over here at the White Stallion with a gorgeous view of Panther Peak right back there. It's the largest held private ranch in North America. I believe it's one of the behind Zion. I think there's a private ranch near Zion National Park in southern Utah. The Tanque Verde Ranch has been in business since oh heavens, I want to say 1876 or 1878. So they're the longest running business in Pima County, which is where Tucson is. It's a little more on the luxury side. Um, and if that's what your clients are looking for, it will not disappoint. I also want to mention that the family that owns the White Stallion Ranch also owns Tombstone Monument Ranch, which you may have heard of, as well as Rancho de la Osa, which is closer to the Mexican border southwest of town. So what's new in Tucson these days, you ask? Well, we have a couple of newish hotels to share with you. Here's the Leo Kent Hotel. It's just across the street from where I'm talking to you now. It opened less than a year ago. It's a boutique hotel. It's a Marriott tribute property. It feels like, but you're in Tucson. It's a Marriott, but you know exactly where you are when you see the artwork on the walls, beautiful views of the mountains, and there's this beautiful design like all throughout the hotel, and a great restaurant on site with local beer, local wine, and some local ingredients too. The Eddy Hotel, this is a Hilton, Tapestry by Hilton property. This is in the Catalina Foothills district. And if up in the upper right side, you'll see that just kind of peeking out there, those are the Catalina foothills, or the Catalinas, we call them. And it has 106 rooms. It's within walking distance to some great shopping and really, really lovely restaurants. They have a terrific restaurant on site. And this beautiful pool. Can't you just imagine yourself out there with a prickly pear margarita, watching the sun go down, talking about your time at the Desert Museum or all the other places that I shared with you? Of course you can. So definitely want to put this onto your radar. This is also what's new is our National Historic Landmark. This took a few years to get, but this year it was official. It was given to us by the U.S. Department of the Interior. And barrio, some of you who speak Spanish will know, it's Spanish for neighborhood. And it is the largest intact barrio in the United States. And it's typically barrios in southern, in cities, San Antonio, San Diego, Los Angeles. Barrio is typically where, Mexican or Spanish, it's heavy. It's the demographic is predominantly Hispanic, Mexican, Spanish. This is very close to downtown. It is a must-see when you are here. Look at all these gorgeous colors. It's adjacent to downtown. It's like a 5-minute, it is basically downtown actually. But it really brings together this neighborhood with the galleries. There's a new photography gallery that's these beautiful cafes and endless photo opportunities, as you can see here. But it really exemplifies our Mexican heritage, really. And just a couple more images from Barrio Viejo here. It was named one of the best places to go in North America and the Caribbean in 2024. Barrio Viejo, it's right next to downtown, very close to the Leo Kent Hotel, which you just saw. There's an electric streetcar that runs very close to here. It's all very compact, and it's very walkable. You can check out some of these landmarks, like the Teatro Carmen, which is the Carmen Theater. It's getting renovated. I can't wait to see it. And the Carly Quinn Studio. You can see these gorgeous hand-glazed tiles that she does. She does private commissions, and she also just sells these. You can take some home with you. We're getting close to the end of the presentation, and so I wanted to share this QR code with you. I hope it works. It was kind of a last-minute addition, but I'll be sure to send this to Peter so that he can have it to send on to you. But if you happen to have your phone by you and want to give it a try and be my guinea pig, as we say, please let me know if it doesn't work, and I'm sure we'll get it to you one way or another. But we're very proud of this issue. Oh, sweet. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't have to worry. But as you can see, look at that headline right here, my friends. America's Best Mexican Food. And now you know why, because we are just that close to the border. Our culinary influence is very strong. We wanted to call it the world's best Mexican food, but we don't think that Mexico would probably like that. Just a little joke. And then now we have some questions, but actually before I do that, I do have this other QR code here that I wanted to share with you at the end. You'll find a sample itinerary, a link to the media library. So, feel free to check that out and let me know if you need anything else from me. But I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing if that's okay, Peter. And I hope this QR code works as well. I'm hopeful.
Let me check just to make sure.
Thank you.
Yes, it does. Excellent. Draft
Excellent.
refreshers. Yep. And I'll make sure that it will be in our newsletter as well. Thank you so much for the short trip to Tucson. It was really helpful and
you.
interesting, and makes us want to go, you know. So good job, I would say.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
The webinar
Thank you.
is recorded, and we will link the webinar to everybody, also for the colleagues who weren't able to attend there. I didn't see any questions in the chat so far. Let me check again just to make sure. No.
Okay.
So this is like the last time if somebody has a question. But let me finish by inviting you all to our next webinar, which will be on April the 30th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we will travel to the East Coast to the city of Philadelphia for our next webinar. So please stay tuned and look into that. Okay, thanks again, Gail. And it
You're
was
welcome.
interesting. I'll see you in LA, so I'll make sure to have some Belgium goodies for you.
Please, I look forward to that. And safe
Okay.
travels, happy travels. And thanks for your time, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
Okay. Yes, and as a start for the long weekend here in Belgium, I presume in the States as
Happy
well.
Easter.
Happy Easter to everybody, and have a good day. Thank you.
Happy Easter, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.